Chilling new video and audio just released from deputies who responded to that tiger attack at a Florida zoo. We do want to warn you, it may be difficult to watch.
These are the kind of zoo scenes you'd swear were made up, except we have the footage. From a goose bullying 3 18-foot giraffes off his turf, to a crocodile staging a fake free fish to lure a human. Get ready to witness the wild side of animal behavior up close. Number 15. Goose versus giraffes. Prepare to witness this shocking showdown between a tiny, fearless goose and 3 giraffes in a battle you have to see to believe. It all began when a family of geese was peacefully strolling across the enclosure. Then, 3 towering giraffes wandered close by. The giraffes seemed calm and uninterested, but one goose clearly wasn't comfortable. He must have felt his gooselings were in danger. After all, one wrong step from those long legs could easily crush them. To him, it was simple. Either they move, or the giraffes do. With a determined flap of his wings, the father goose launched himself straight at the first giraffe, catching the gentle giant completely off guard. The startled giraffe quickly backed away, despite being more than 10 times the goose's size. An adult giraffe can reach up to 18 feet tall, but that didn't matter here. The fearless goose kept charging, honking and flapping until all 3 giraffes retreated. In that moment, the goose proved that a parent's instinct to protect its young knows no size or limit. Number 14. Crocodile outsmarts human. How smart do you really think crocodiles are? Smarter than most people realize. These ancient predators have learned to use human-like tactics, and sometimes they turn them against us. In one shocking video filmed near a lake, a man noticed a fish lying on the shore. Thinking he'd scored an easy catch, he rushed to grab it. But the moment he bent down, a crocodile lunged from the water, jaws wide open. The man barely escaped in time. Only then did he realize the fish wasn't a lucky find. It was bait. Crocodiles have been observed using food or floating sticks to lure their prey close, proving that humans aren't the only ones who set traps. Number 13. The dancing gorilla. You've seen gorillas show strength and dominance, but have you ever seen one break dance? At the Calgary Zoo, visitors were left in awe when an energetic gorilla stepped into a shallow puddle and started spinning, splashing, and twisting like a break dancer. It looked as if he was moving to a rhythm only he could hear. At first, people thought it was just a random burst of energy, but he kept going, caught up in pure joy. Then, just as suddenly, he stopped, looking up as if to say, "Wait, you're all watching me?" It was a short display that created a lasting impression on the visitors that day. Number 12. Harambe, the gentle giant. Sometimes the most powerful moments in nature aren't about aggression, they're about compassion. In 2016, at the Cincinnati Zoo, a 3-year-old boy accidentally slipped and fell into a gorilla enclosure. Panic spread through the crowd as a 400-pound silverback named Harambe approached the child. At first, everyone feared the worst, but what happened next left the world speechless. Instead of attacking, Harambe gently reached for the boy, standing protectively near him, as if trying to understand or comfort the frightened child. It was a heartbreaking scene. Moments later, zoo officials, fearing for the boy's safety, made a split-second decision that would change everything. Harambe was shot to save the child, and the world lost a gentle giant. The video of that moment went viral, sparking global conversations about animal intelligence, human responsibility, and the thin line between safety and empathy. Number 11. When calm turns deadly, the crocodiles snap. This woman's experience should serve as a powerful warning. Wild animals may look calm, but they're never truly tame. In footage captured somewhere in Africa, a group of young men was seen touching the back of a crocodile resting on land. The reptile seemed unbothered, almost gentle, not reacting at all. But then, one woman decided to join in. The moment her hand brushed the crocodile's back, it snapped, fast and furious. She barely managed to pull away, escaping with just a minor injury. It was a short moment of chaos that had taught many a valuable lesson. Number 10. Human versus lions. There's always been a lingering question. Just how strong is a lion compared to a full-grown man? Well, this challenge finally put that curiosity to the test. 3 professional strongmen, Ricochet, Fabian Channon, and Kylian Dane, decided to take on a lion in a tug-of-war, separated safely by a barrier and a thick rope. As the contest began, the lion gripped one end of the rope with its powerful jaws. On the other side, the three men dug in, gripping tight, their muscles flexing with everything they had. Cameras clicked, crowds murmured, and everyone waited to see who would win. Seconds passed as the men strained and heaved, but the lion barely moved. With one calm, effortless pull, it dragged the rope and forced the men forward like rag dolls. In the end, the king of the jungle didn't just win, it dominated, reminding everyone that human strength, no matter how impressive, is nothing compared to nature's raw design. Number 9. Elephant seal taking a stroll. Imagine walking through a quiet park in New Zealand, when suddenly a massive elephant seal emerges from the ocean and starts waddling down the path like it owns the place. That's exactly what stunned locals recently, a rare and incredible sight of one of nature's true giants, right in the heart of the city. The enormous seal moved casually across the park, completely unbothered by the crowd's attention. Some people clapped in amazement, others stood frozen, their mouths wide open as they watched this colossal creature shuffle past, as if it were just out for an afternoon stroll. It was one of those moments that would sound unbelievable if it hadn't been caught on camera. Because let's be honest, if your friend told you, "I just saw an elephant seal walking through the park," you'd probably think they were joking. Number 8. Kangaroo versus man. A man, a kangaroo, and one stunned dog caught in the middle. In the Australian outback, a group of friends was on a hunting trip when they suddenly spotted a kangaroo gripping one of their dogs in a headlock. At first, it seemed like a bizarre standoff. The dog frozen, the kangaroo standing tall and flexing its powerful muscles. Without a second thought, the owner ran straight toward them. The kangaroo refused to let go, squaring up like a boxer ready for a fight. So the man did the unthinkable. He threw a single punch, right to the kangaroo's face. For a moment, everything stopped. The kangaroo stood still, clearly shocked, then released the dog and calmly hopped away, as if to say, "Did that really just happen?" Number 7. The woman who jumps into a tiger cage for her hat. What this woman did for a hat nearly turned into a deadly mistake. At the Toronto Zoo, visitors were enjoying the view of a powerful Sumatran tiger, until one woman's hat suddenly blew off and landed inside the enclosure. Now, most people would have left it or called a zookeeper for help. But not this woman. To everyone's disbelief, she jumped straight into the tiger's enclosure to retrieve it. Gasps and screams filled the air as the tiger began pacing nearby, eyes fixed on the unexpected intruder. Every second felt like an eternity. One wrong move and things could have gone terribly wrong. The crowd held their breath as she reached for the hat, standing only feet away from one of the world's most dangerous predators. Luckily, a secondary barrier stood between her and the tiger, strong enough to hold. She managed to grab her hat and climb back out, completely unharmed, but visibly shaken. The video went viral, sparking outrage and disbelief. Many called her actions reckless. Others said it was pure instinct. Number 6. A visitor commanding an elephant. A charging elephant is one of the most terrifying sights in the animal world. When this giant barrels forward at full speed, it can mean one of two things: a warning or a real attack. Either way, it's not something anyone would ever want to face. Experts say, if you ever find yourself in that situation, staying calm might be your only chance, because turning your back and running could make things far worse. The man in this footage seemed to know that all too well. While walking through a zoo area, a territorial elephant became agitated and suddenly charged toward the group. The visitor filming was right in the line of attack, but instead of running, he stood his ground. With steady hands raised, he shouted firmly at the elephant to stop, and unbelievably, it did. The massive creature froze in its tracks, stared for a moment, then slowly backed away. The crowd gasped. It was a scene that left everyone stunned. For a second, you'd think the man was part of the zoo staff. Number 5. Giraffe fight, the battle of the giants. You've seen lions fight, gorillas brawl, and even dogs tussle. But have you ever seen the tall giants go to war? If you thought giraffe fights were gentle, think again. Unlike the raw strength of lions, the brute force of gorillas, or the playful scrappiness of dogs, giraffes have their own unique way of battling, one that's deadly. The scene amazed everyone watching. When giraffes fight, it's not just a clash. It's a thunderous ballet of giants. Two males, towering over the savanna, circle each other in tense silence. Their long necks sway like pendulums, eyes locked in primal defiance. Then suddenly, one swings his neck with explosive force, his skull slamming into the other's ribs like a wrecking ball. The sound echoes across the plains, a deep, hollow thud that sends dust spiraling through the golden air. They don't claw, they don't bite. Each swing could shatter bone or decide dominance. Their ossicones, those horn-like knobs on their heads, crash together in a brutal dance of endurance and pride. Blood might trickle, legs might buckle, but neither gives up. When the victor finally stands tall, his rival bows slightly, not in respect, but in exhaustion. Number 4. The dancing polar bear. You may have seen bears trained for circus and performing dance moves, but wait until you see this polar bear who just seemed to be in a good mood and then decided to entertain the visitors with its natural talent in dancing. It was just a normal day in the zoo, but became special for a lot of visitors who saw this polar bear begin to move in rhythm. The bear was swaying, bobbing, and shifting its weight in rhythmic patterns that many describe as dance moves. Its graceful movement captivated the children and adults as parents laughed and children clapped, enjoying the impromptu display. Of course, experts say those movements aren't deliberate for entertainment, rather they're more likely stereotypic movements. Number 3. Upright chimpanzee. When a chimpanzee rises and walks on 2 legs, it's like watching a glimpse of our ancient past come to life. Normally, chimps move on all 4s, their knuckles pressing into the ground as they stride across the forest floor with ease. But every so often, something remarkable happens. One decides to walk upright. This time, it wasn't just a few steps. A visitor captured a chimpanzee walking with a calm, steady gait that looked almost human. Shoulders swaying, back straight, and feet firmly balanced on the ground. It carried objects in its hands while keeping perfect balance, even bending down to pick things up and standing right back up again. The movement itself was fascinating, but the duration made it extraordinary. It wasn't random, it was deliberate, a clear reminder of the deep connection between humans and our closest relatives in the animal kingdom. Number 2. Orangutan kiss. Sometimes, animals pull the most touching surprises when we least expect them. Naomi Davies, a 4 months pregnant woman, was visiting Twycross Zoo in Leicestershire, UK, with her fiancé Bellingham. As they stopped by the orangutan enclosure, something extraordinary unfolded. On the other side of the glass sat a mother orangutan, gently cradling her own baby. As Naomi approached, the orangutan's gaze shifted. Her dark eyes locked onto Naomi's baby bump, pressed softly against the glass. She leaned closer, studying it with quiet curiosity, almost as if she recognized the miracle within. And then she did something no one expected. The mother orangutan pressed her lips against the glass, right where Naomi's belly was. A silent kiss, a gesture of pure affection from one mother to another. At that moment, the barrier between species didn't matter. Number 1. Dog versus leopard. Dogs are often underestimated when faced with wild predators, but this one proved everyone wrong. In a safari park, a man was filming his dog as it lay calmly on the dirt road, waiting for their group to catch up. Suddenly, a leopard appeared from the bushes, fast, quick, and ready to end it all in one single attack, but the dog was quick to react. Most animals would run, but not this dog. With lightning speed, it stood up, not to flee, but to fight. It wasn't happy that its rest was disrupted. Secondly, that its human was threatened by the presence of the leopard. And lastly, it was picked as a target. Without much delay, it began barking fiercely as it advanced toward the leopard, refusing to back down. The boldness startled the big cat, throwing it off its rhythm. The dog barked again and again, its stance firm, its tail stiff with defiance. Step by step, it forced the leopard backward, until the predator finally turned and slipped away into the grass. The dog returned to resting, victorious. Want to see more amazing moments? Click the cards on your screen to take you to our next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.